A new friend, welcome to my channel, and if you're an old friend, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about my top 5 palettes of 2016. I was really wondering how I should cap off this year of beauty that I've had, because it's been such a whirlwind year. I mean, I really only got into makeup and stuff last December. This time last December I was like, ooh, makeup. And then there were things that I wanted to see on YouTube that I wasn't seeing. So I decided to make my own. And here we are. But yeah, so I want to talk about my favorite palettes this year. I was going to talk about my most used products, but I kind of did that in October. And it hasn't really changed much since then. That could have been my year of favorite products because it was pretty conclusive. All-encompassing. But yeah, I'm just gonna talk about palettes today because I'm kind of a palette junkie. I have a ton of palettes. So narrowing it down to my top 5 was kind of challenging, but I'm super excited to do it because I love eyeshadow. So let's go. So obviously picking just 5 was kind of tricky, and I have to give an honorable mention to the Chocolate Bar palette. This was really one of the first high-end palettes that I bought, and I don't regret this purchase at all. I absolutely love this palette, but since I've gotten deeper into palettes and just the eyeshadow game, I don't reach for it as much as I used to. And I mean, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. It has a lot of really buttery neutral colors. Some of them can be kind of hits and misses with how sheer and powdery they are. Like this one, it's kind of hard to work with. The pigment isn't as great as it could be, but for the most part, it's pretty good. I still reach for this palette on a fairly regular basis when I'm just doing a neutral, chill eyeshadow look just for work. I still really like this palette, and whenever I'm doing a dark smoky eye, I always add this burgundy one called Cherry Cordial into my crease just to have a good transition shade. I mean, it goes up into my transition shade. I think I'm gonna do an actual look with for a black smoky eye using this because I really, really love this color. This is probably one of my favorite colors in the palette. One of the reasons why this palette isn't in my top 5 is because it's so neutral to cool toned, and you guys know that I really love warm toned shades, and so there's just not really a good transition shade for me in this palette. When I first got this palette, I was super excited about it, but the more that I got to use it and the more that I was really working with it, I noticed that there wasn't a good transition shade that would flatter my skin tone. These kind of end up looking a little bit too ashy on me. This one is good for a lid color, but I can't really use it for a transition shade on my skin tone. On lighter skin tones, it works, but it's just not super for me. But for the most part, I really like this palette, and I think it's a good buy. It's $49 and it's 16 shades. So I mean, you can't really go wrong with the Chocolate Bar palette. Everybody loves this palette, and for the most part, I love it a lot too. Now, for my number 5, I have to mention the Master Palette by Mario by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I really love this palette. It's so incredibly buttery. It's to be their most buttery palette. And sometimes that can be a little bit tricky because these colors blend a little bit too easily. You can't put a ton of these colors up on your lid because it can get very muddied, and nobody wants muddied eyeshadow. So with these, I would say you really don't have to blend them. Just kind of put them on your eyelid, kind of blend out the edge of each color, but don't really swirl your brush in there, else it's just gonna end up looking I don't know, a blob on your eyelid. But I really love these colors. I feel they're very neutral and neutral to warm for the most part. One thing that does kind of bug me though, and I think it's kind of weird, is that Fifth Ave and Hollywood are so similar. Why did we need both of them in one palette? And then Muse and NYC are pretty similar too, but my favorite is definitely Muse. Kim is really pretty. I mean, all these colors are really, really pretty. I just thought it was funny that they had such similar colors in one palette. But I'm not really complaining. I reach for this palette all the time, especially like when I'm getting ready for work and I just want like one color on my lid. I usually use Isabel is such a pretty transition shade. Like I really didn't think that I could love an Anastasia Beverly Hills transition shade more than I love burnt orange, but Isabel is just stunning. My lord, I love it. It takes my breath away, literally. It just did. But yeah, so this palette is my number 5. For my number 4, I'm going with the Unzipped palette by Lorac. I really love this palette. It has 10 shades. It's only $40 and it's just so freaking pretty, and the colors blend seamlessly and the color payoff is freaking amazing. The colors stay on literally all day long, even without a primer. Like sometimes I let my mom borrow this palette and she doesn't use a primer and the colors still look freaking phenomenal. It's mostly warm toned, but it does, I feel like, look very good on people with cooler undertones. It doesn't have a good transition shade that I mean, it doesn't have a transition shade for me. It might work for other skin tones. I really love the shimmers in this palette. Right now I'm actually wearing Unbelievable on my lid, and then I used Untamed in my crease. I just reach for this palette whenever I need some shimmer. Or I really love Unconditional. I think I talked about that in my October favorites video. I just love how that looks like all over my lid. It's just so freaking pretty. So this palette is really good for warm, shimmery, neutral colors. Warm to neutral colors. Another thing that I really think is funny about the Lorac Unzipped palette is how much of a dupe it is for the Tartelette in Bloom palette. This one has so many similarities to the Unzipped palette. Like when you look at them together, it's just kind of like they're sisters or something, because there are so many similar colors in these palettes. Like they just, the white and here, and I mean this one has 10 and this one has 12, so you're really missing out on that like grayish color and probably some of these transition shades, but for the most part these are very similar. I prefer the Lorac Unzipped just because these colors are so much more buttery and these ones can be a little bit more powdery and chalky feeling. This is still a really good palette, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that I prefer the Lorac Unzipped one, but I find their similarities hilarious. So for my number 3 palette, can you guys guess which one it is? The Sweet Peach palette by Too Faced is in my number 3 slot, and I really just can't say enough good things about this palette. I think that the colors are gorgeous and it smells like peaches, but like I feel like people have said that this palette is overrated, and I really don't think that it is. I think that it is a seriously high quality palette. Like it has the wonderful quality of Too Faced that everybody loves, where like the colors are blendable, there's a high color payoff, and like the shade range is just really stunning, and like how can you not love this? Like I reach for this palette personally all the time, just because you can do so many different looks with it. I was kind of struggling to do everyday work looks. Like I really was thinking about maybe doing my 5 days one palette series on this one, but that series is more for work-friendly looks because I'm, you know, a young professional, and I just couldn't get as many work-friendly looks out of this palette. But if I was definitely just doing this for night, or if I had a job where I didn't have to be in a professional setting with old white men, then maybe I could make this work. But just for my job, I couldn't really make this work for every day. But I still really love this palette. It's definitely a good, fun palette to use in the evening when you're going out with your girlfriends. I love Bellini. I dig into this color like all the time. I feel like you guys can see how dug in that color. I've done a couple of tutorials with this look, and I'm super excited to use this palette with the glow kit that I got recently. But this palette is just really phenomenal, and I think that it would work well on like many different skin tones. For my number 2 palette, I'm gonna have to go with the Peanut Butter and Jelly palette by Too Faced, which was an exclusive at Ulta. I seriously am in love with this palette. I love the fact that it can fit in my purse because so many times I'm doing my makeup in the car or in my office. And then also, like, these shades are just so freaking pretty. Like, Peanut Butter is just my all-time favorite transition shade, and then so many of these shades look really pretty on the lid and then work well on the crease. Like, I just love how Too Faced lays out their palettes like this, the little 9 shade palettes. Like, they really set up looks for you to use, and they just make it so easy, and I just feel like it's such a good palette for beginners because of the way that it's set up, but also it's really pretty and useful for people who are more comfortable using makeup because you can mix and match these colors, and it's just a stunning little palette. Like, I really hope that they do more like this. I saw one, it was like Peanut Butter and Honey palette that Jared Blandino, who's the co-founder of Too Faced, he did like a little sneaky peek picture of a palette that's coming out this spring, so I'm looking forward to those like all the way because I freaking love these palettes. For my number 1, I feel like you guys have to, if you know this channel at all, then you know what my number 1 palette is, and it's gonna be Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia, Beverly Hills. I'm in love with this palette. I'm obsessed with this palette. I'm pretty sure everybody is. When it came out, I feel like I didn't hear that many people talking about it. Since the Modern Renaissance palette came out, several other brands have tried to emulate that style of warm jewel toned palettes with varying success, but this one is just so freaking solid. Like, obviously I've hit pan on Burnt Orange because I love this transition shade. I use it all the time. But like, these berry toned colors are just so much fun to play with and add into your crease for like a little pop of color. And then these ones I just love wearing to work all the time. Colors are so blendable, but they're not like too, like, unlike the Mario Master palette, like that one I feel like is a little bit too buttery sometimes, and it just blends a little bit too well, and it can end up looking muddied. These colors never look muddied on your eyelid, and they last forever, especially with a primer. Like, it just, the payoff is phenomenal. They're so freaking pigmented. And it was like moderately priced, and it's permanent, so like you can always buy this one. Unlike the Master palette by Mario, that one was a limited edition palette. Sweet Peach was limited edition. I mean, it's back now, but for a long time it was really hard to get. This one, it's permanent and it's back in stock, and so you can always pick it up. You can pick up multiple copies. I mean, I just love this palette. I think I did do a review on this palette. So I'm gonna leave reviews and looks that I've done with all of these palettes in the detailed box below, right down there, so you guys can check out all of the looks that I've done. But this one is my all-time favorite palette of 2016, probably 2017 unless someone else blows me out of the water. But I really didn't think that I would be able to make colors like this work on an everyday basis or even on a weekend basis, but it does. Like, there are ways you can make these colors work if you're creative and you have a little sense of adventure. That's it for my top 5 eyeshadow palettes of 2016. I really hope you guys had an amazing 2016. I know it was kind of rough, but I really hope that the next year is good for you guys. And please let me know what your favorite palettes were this year and what you thought about my choices. I would love to hear from you guys. I always love hearing from you guys. So I will see you guys in my next video. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, don't forget to give it a big old thumbs up. Maybe even share it with a friend because that would be awesome. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already so I can update you on all of my latest videos, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye! The Modern Renaissance palette by Too Faced. Oh my god.